Well, hello again, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at the Cambridge Wide Margin in the English Standard Version, or the ESV. In this review, we're going to be specifically looking at the readability of this Bible. There are plenty of reviews that look at the goatskin covers and the binding and the linings and so forth, but we're going to be asking a more important question of whether or not this is a Bible that you're going to enjoy reading and studying with on a day-to-day basis. I'll show you a number of the pages up close, so you'll be able to experience it for yourself and try it before you buy it. We'll look a little bit at the construction here of this Bible. So again, it is this wide margin, and this one is black goatskin. Cambridge seems to have chosen a really nice goatskin for their wide margins. I've heard from several others that they've been very happy with the goatskin that's used here. It's very thick, it's very soft and flexible, and it's thick enough that it feels like a leather jacket or something, and it's definitely got that softness as well. But given that it's natural goatskin, every wide margin is going to vary a little bit, but overall, very pleased with the goatskin they've chosen here. So as you can see, you've got Holy Bible printed on the front, and we've got the gold foil letters on the outside, and the stamped ribs. So these are not raised, as you can see, they are flush, but they are stamped to create that raised effect. This is a red under gold art gilt, and so it's a little bit darker than some of their other Bibles, and Cambridge's Bibles. However, it's not going to be as dark as, say, an Allen Bible or something like that. However, it's still very nicely done art gilt. You do have two red ribbons. These are the standard Cambridge ribbons, and they're a little bit smaller than some other Bibles, but they are standard for Cambridge. I have seen some of their more recent Bibles, say for example the turquoise, that do have a much more premium ribbon, but these are long enough that they do reach the outside corner to be able to quickly and easily turn the pages. This is a double column paragraph format Bible. So in other words, the verse numbers are going to be throughout the text. They're not going to be aligned on the left-hand side of each column. However, if you turn to, say for example, here we are in Job, you're going to see any verses that are more poetic. You're going to see a verse-by-verse format where you're going to have the verse numbers on the outside left edge of each column. Psalms are obviously going to be the same way, and Proverbs, and in fact even different books here, like we look at Jeremiah, you're going to see kind of a mix of the two. So we're going to see the verse-by-verse format in some sections with poetry, and then you're going to see the paragraph format in others. So the ESV wide margin that I'm holding is red letter, and it has all of the words of Christ in red. While some Bibles just have the words of Christ while on earth in red, as you would see through the beginning of Acts, in this Bible, you're going to see red letters throughout. In fact, even if we go back here to Revelation at the beginning here, so here we are in Revelation 2, and you're seeing an abundance of red letter text. So for those of you that like red letter text, you will really enjoy this Cambridge Wide Margin. Something else I will point out here, if you do end up going with this Bible, and you will, it's obviously a larger Bible that you would perhaps have in your study or at home, you can pick up the Cambridge Pitt Minion, which is a much smaller Bible, but it's going to be more portable. However, the pagination is the same. If I can turn back a couple pages here. It is going to be exactly the same pagination or layout as the Pitt Minion. And so here I've got a Pitt Minion. And so if we turn to page 818 in this wide margin Bible, you can see here on the right-hand side we have chapter 22 of Matthew. And if I look back in this little Pitt Minion, you've got page 818 and chapter 22 on the right-hand side. So everything's laid out exactly the same. So it allows you to keep one at home and take another with you on a flight and be able to resume your reading from exactly the same place. And for scripture memorization, it's also nice to be able to come back and look at pages while you're out on the road and see them exactly the way that you saw them at home or in your study with your larger wide margin Bible. The paper that Cambridge has chosen is a thicker India paper, and given the size of this font, which is an 8.2 font, the bleed through, or the see-through, or ghosting as some call it, is very minimal. So any of the text that you're seeing on any subsequent pages here is only highlighted by the fact that I have very bright lights here. So under normal lighting conditions, in fact, if I set it down, you're going to see it very little, if at all. It's not going to be a distraction for you as you read. The font that they use, along with this thicker India paper, allows you to really enjoy the font or enjoy the text without being distracted by what's on the other pages. That includes, if you use a nicer micron pen, you're going to be pleased that even if you do underline some verses, like as you can see here, they are underlined with a micron pen. And then if we turn the page here, you'll notice that see-through is so, you're hardly even going to see that. You can see it a little bit there, but really you can't hardly notice it bleeding through the page. So again, the type of pens do matter. So if you do use certain kinds of pens that bleed a lot, I don't think any paper is going to resist that. So the quality of the pen does make a difference. So we'll look at a few more areas here. And I'll give you a little better look at the Psalms and Proverbs as well. So as we look at the readability of this Bible, I would say that I would give the readability a little lower rating than a 5-star, maybe a 4.5. And the reason being is that here you've got this very large Bible, which I recognize was created specifically for the margins. And so we have large margins to be able to write in. However, it reads like a smaller Bible. Because the font is smaller, for those that have aging eyes, some complain that it's a little bit small. I don't know if complain is the right word, because I think most everyone's very happy with this wide margin Bible, but some have felt that it does read a little small. So you can take, for example, the Cambridge Clarion, which is a much smaller Bible than this. However, because of the line spacing, because there's a lot of space in between each line, it reads a lot larger than this. The Clarion reads a lot larger than this wide margin. So that would be my only complaint as far as readability goes. However, I'm not sure exactly how to correct that, because obviously if you take a section of text like this and add a little bit more spacing in between each line, before you know it, you don't have any margins left. So I think it's because of the size of this Bible, I guess you would just hope that you could read it a little bit larger than the way that it reads. But overall, this Bible easily earns a 5-star rating for everything else. So it's one of the nicest Bibles you can hold and own. It's a wonderful Bible from every aspect. Again, my only suggestion would be that the font is maybe spaced a little bit differently, or maybe is a touch larger so that it would read a little bit larger. But other than that, they've tried to compensate for that with the thickness of the paper and the line matching, minimal bleed through and see through. So overall, this is a phenomenal Bible if you're looking to take notes and study with it, and even take it to the pulpit with you on Sunday. It's got a large enough font that you can do that, and the ability to keep your sermon notes in the side margin makes it a plus as well. So hope you enjoyed this review. Feel free to comment and let us know how we can help with any future reviews when we look at readability of the Bibles. You're welcome to subscribe to this channel, as we will continue uploading numerous videos on premium Bibles, looking at the readability, and give you an opportunity to see all of these pages up close for yourself. So we'll see you next time.